Dillian the Body Snatcher White here. It's a champ. Big up to Sporting Icon. Subscribe. Otherwise, I might pay you guys a visit.
Right, let me talk about why I believe Dillian Whyte versus Alexander Povetkin is the new favourite to happen over any other fight for Dillian Whyte. Now, straight away, I know a lot of people are disappointed with Dillian Whyte not accepting the Anthony Joshua fight, okay? But listen, a lot of you guys who are saying that Dillian Whyte should have took it are probably the same ones who are saying they didn't want the fight, okay? So, you know, just think about that one for a second. But anyway, Dillian Whyte, he wants to go for the WBC route. He wants to take on Wilder or Fury, get that belt, and then go undisputed against Joshua. That's the perfect scenario. I think we can all agree on that one. So, moving on from then. So, let's look at the three names that Dillian Whyte and Eddie Hearn have confirmed. So let's look at, first of all, Luis Ortiz. Now, that's a fight that a lot of us would love as a anybody who's a neutral fan who just wants to watch a good fight, an interesting fight, one that's going to get you excited. Yes, Luis Ortiz versus Dillian Whyte. Okay, but the reality is it doesn't bring that much money because unfortunately Luis Ortiz doesn't speak English, so he can't really sell the fight too much. And it does nothing for Dillian Whyte's ranking. All it does do is show that if Dillian Whyte was to beat Luis Ortiz, that he was better than Luis Ortiz. It shuts up a lot of people. That's all that fight does, really, okay? It doesn't bring any kind of great money to the table or anything like that, but there will be a lot of interest, that's for sure. So that is a fight that a lot of fans would love to see. Let's move on to Dominic Breazeale. Now, Dominic Breazeale is WBC mandatory. He shouldn't be mandatory, but he is. Okay, the WBC dropped the ball. So in an ideal situation, Dillian Whyte versus Dominic Breazeale, this fight for mandatory is guaranteed a shot at the winner of Wilder versus Fury, the rematch. Okay, so Dillian Whyte taking on Breazeale, if he beats Breazeale, and he's then guaranteed a fight with the winner of Wilder versus Fury. So if he was to beat Breazeale and then beat the winner of Wilder versus Fury, for example, he then gets a WBC title and then he goes to the table against Anthony Joshua for undisputed. Two Brits for undisputed, right? Ideal situation, okay? Or, like for many people, Tyson Fury versus Joshua, two Brits, okay? Same kind of ballpark. But the downside to Dillian Whyte versus Dominic Breazeale is probably the money, to be fair. Unfortunately, Dominic Breazeale, inactivity, people don't really know Breazeale outside of the fact that he took on Anthony Joshua, and Anthony Joshua done away with him when Joshua had glandular fever. Okay, so outside of that, it's probably not a great fight for the fans, but it's the perfect fight for Dillian Whyte to get a WBC title shot, to then hopefully get the WBC title and go fight Joshua. Okay, so that is the perfect fight. When I had Dillian Whyte on the channel a little while ago, we discussed this, and Dillian Whyte said, yeah, he wants Breazeale. I've been saying that I want Dillian Whyte versus Breazeale for a long time. And I even said to Eddie Hearn's face, I want Dillian Whyte versus Dominic Breazeale for this very same reason. Had Eddie Hearn listened to, but listen, who am I for him to listen to, right? But had he have listened and not made the Derek Chisora fight, because Eddie Hearn was so hell-bent on making the Derek Chisora fight. Why? Because it makes a lot of money. That's why. That's why he made the fight. Had nothing to do with anything else. It had all to do with money. Okay? But ultimately, listen, Dillian Whyte made a crap load of money, so good on him. Good on him. Okay? So I don't blame him for taking it. But had Eddie Hearn have made more of an effort to make the Breazeale fight, Dillian Whyte would be sat there as mandatory right now, knowing that he can fight the winner of Wilder versus Fury next. But Eddie Hearn didn't make the effort. Listen, this isn't to have a go at Eddie Hearn, but some things do need to be said. He should have made the Dominic Breazeale fight. And now he's in a situation now where he needs to make the Dominic Breazeale fight. He needs to do this. Okay, so there's Dominic Breazeale. Now, why do I say that Povetkin is the new favourite? Well, a little while ago, probably 2 months ago now, some of you guys may or may not remember that I did a video of Alexander Povetkin talking about when he's going to come back. And he said that he's looking to be fighting on April the 13th at Wembley Stadium on Anthony Joshua's undercard. Eddie Hearn has a very good relationship with Andre Rybinski, his promoter, World of Boxing, right? So Eddie Hearn has already confirmed to Alexander Povetkin, you will fight on my show. April 13th, Wembley Stadium. But that looks like that's not going to happen now because Anthony Joshua is going to go fight Big Baby Jarrell Miller in America, right? So what's Eddie Hearn going to do? Well, he needs to keep the relationship sweet, doesn't he? Well, I can't get you a undercard fight at Wembley Stadium, but I can get you a headliner against Dillian Whyte. Okay, so in other words, he's already promised him a fight, and in my opinion, this is the fight that Eddie Hearn is going to make the most effort in. Again, why do I say that as well? Interviews today with Eddie Hearn and Adam Smith on IFL TV, where both of these guys said they would prefer Dillian Whyte versus Alexander Povetkin. That's a sinking feeling for me. I love the fight, don't get me wrong, but as a Dillian Whyte fan, I look on it as not only who are you fighting, but why are you fighting them? As I said, Breazeale is the perfect scenario. Povetkin does nothing for Dillian Whyte's career. Nothing. It probably generates a fair bit of money. Sure. It's a great name on the resume. Sure. Of course it does. Bearing in mind that on that undercard as well, they're already looking at Dave Allen versus Lucas Brown and Michael Hunter versus Carlos Takam, amongst others. It looks like it's going to be a heavyweight card, okay, which is great. So from a neutral point of view, if you like, from just a fan's perspective who's not really looking at Dillian Whyte's career, just as what fight do we want to see, then Povetkin is a great fight, much like Luis Ortiz. It's a great fight. Personally, I would prefer Povetkin versus Luis Ortiz, and I think most of you guys would too. And I said this to Dillian Whyte as well, and Dillian Whyte agreed that he would love to see that fight, which is why he needs to be taking on Dominic Breazeale. But I've got a feeling that Eddie Hearn is not going to make the effort for Dillian Whyte versus Dominic Breazeale. So if Breazeale doesn't happen and Povetkin does, don't tell you I didn't warn you that he's already promised Alexander Povetkin a fight, and he wants to be keeping sweet with the world of boxing, Andrei Rybinski. He's already said that he prefers Dillian Whyte versus Alexander Povetkin, but it does nothing for Dillian Whyte's career, much like the Chisora fight did nothing for his career. Did nothing for it. Dominic Breazeale is the only one who puts him a step closer to what we all want, which is Dillian Whyte taking on potentially Wilder, for example. To put Deontay Wilder in a situation where he can no longer avoid Dillian Whyte. Because Deontay Wilder doesn't want to fight Dillian Whyte. He's frightened to death of Dillian Whyte. Put him in that situation, he then has no choice. But, as I said, much like Eddie Hearn, he wanted the Chisora fight. He wants the Povetkin fight. There's a good chance that because he got the Chisora fight, now he's going to get the Povetkin fight. He can guarantee it. And I'm going to be a little bit annoyed about it, to be honest with you. As much as I love the fight, from a fan's perspective, just watching a fight, that is going to be a great fight. Whyte versus Breazeale, probably not, to be fair. But it's a fight in the right direction for Dillian Whyte's career. Dillian Whyte knows this. I've told him this. Plenty of people have told him this. He says this himself. Dominic Breazeale is the one that I want. But with Eddie Hearn and Adam Smith saying that they want Povetkin, for me, that's the fight that's going to happen. That's the fight Eddie Hearn's going to do, move heaven and earth to try and get. And he's probably going to be telling Dillian, well, you know, we've put in an offer with Dominic Breazeale, but it doesn't seem very forthcoming. It doesn't really seem like he wants to have a fight. But Povetkin's up for it. Povetkin will do it. I can guarantee it. Guarantee it. So that's why I believe Alexander Povetkin versus Dillian Whyte is going to be the fight that happens. And it's not good for Dillian Whyte's career. Whereas Dominic Breazeale, less money, less profile, I suppose, but it does more for his career long term if he was to defeat Dominic Breazeale. That's my thoughts on it. Of course, you drop me yours, click thumbs up, subscribe, catch you all on the next video.